following is a GNC podcast production. Welcome to Geek Addicts, a pop culture podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geek Addicts, the pop culture podcast. I'm Bill. This is Matt. I intro, you know.
You did good that time.
I did, and then I finished it, and then I was like, shit. I don't know where to go from here.
That's fine. So
yeah,
been
a while.
Yeah, it has been a bit. Well, not for the listeners, but for us, it's been a few weeks. We burned through all of our backlog stuff, so you'll be hearing this just a few days after we're recording it now.
Yeah. Man.
But I was gonna say on the subject of the intros, we'll get more into like the whole trip and everything later on. But when we were on the train ride back, my wife was looking for something to listen to just to kind of like relax and get herself settled down for sleep, to try and get as much sleep as we could because we had coach seats on the train and it's not exactly a comfortable situation.
Yeah.
So I was just as an offhand suggestion, I was like, hey, why don't you listen to the first episode of Geek Addicts? And like she got maybe 10 minutes in and she was like, yo, Matt, like Bill has like one of the most soothing radio voices ever. And she was like, this is so relaxing listening to the two of you. I could just go to sleep right here. Just fine. And I thought it was really funny because I felt the need. I had to bring it up to you because with how Alex has been trying to get you to do the ASMR thing the past couple of weeks.
I know. She doesn't understand that I physically can't do that. Like my voice does not go any lower than this.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's pretty amusing because if you listen to GNC, you can't get that effect because Alex is just like constantly like at 11 at all times. So
yeah, so he's overtaxing her microphone.
Yeah. She has a soundboard now. We just have to get the right cables for it. So hopefully that won't happen anymore. But yeah, he gets a little dramatic sometimes.
Yeah, no. Listening to our past couple episodes, like, made me realize that I really need to get a new mic because, like, the sound quality between the two of us, like, going back and forth, it makes me cringe whenever I hear myself.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully they have some decent mics they can get now that aren't massively expensive. Like you don't have to get like what me and Alex have, like with the Shure mics, which are just like obscenely expensive. But well, not obscenely, but they're expensive. They're on the higher end for podcasting mics. But there's so many like good options out there now. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, for recent, it's not going to be out till the end of February, but me and Alex recently recorded a GNC episode, little sneak peek here, where we actually reacted to the first GNC episode.
That's got to be fun.
Oh, it was bad. It was really bad. I was like, God, this was terrible. Like,
I haven't listened to it since it first came out either, so I don't even like I remember you guys like being a little unsure of yourselves, but aside from that, like I don't remember too much from it. So
a friend of the show, Andre from Fine Time, there was actually part of how this came to be was we were talking podcasting stuff over on another friend of the show, Rick's server, and we were all joking about how our first episodes were like crappy and listenable. And I joked saying that the first episode of GNC is literally just like two people trying to figure out how to do a podcast.
Well, to be fair, that's how a lot of podcasts first episodes go. So
yeah, the best part was though, Dre responded, he's like, what, did you just turn the mic on and say, see what happens? And I was like, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It was a learning experience. It was just really funny listening to it again because Alex was all like super gung-ho for it. She was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We got 10 minutes and she's like, is this over yet? I I was like, nope, we still got over half to go. And she's like, oh no.
That's funny as hell. Well, at least you know you'll never have to do that for our show because there's no way we're gonna do a reaction to a 3.5 hour episode.
Yeah. And thankfully, like our first episode at least had a direction.
Somewhat. It was kind
It
of
was-
just a general conversation, but yeah, we did have a topic. So
Trust me, you'll see at the end of February. We did for the first episode. GNC definitely did not have a direction.
did you play clips of the episode, or were you like
So-
commenting on it, like a commentary, or?
We had it playing in the background, and we commentated over it. I paused it every now and then to give like context on like certain things.
That's fun.
Yeah. So that was a fun little Easter. That's a fun little Easter egg to look forward to later this month.
Mhm.
But yeah, you went on a big trip recently, though.
Yeah, we got back on Saturday night. We went down to Orlando. We took the train. It was I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but it was like our big gift to our son. He's 11 now, so we got him a trip to Universal, so he could go to the Wizarding World and stuff. And he ended up liking a lot of the Marvel stuff. I think I don't know if it was liked it more, but I think he was equally excited about that and the Jurassic Park section too, because that's his favorite movie and has been since he was like 4, 5. So
Nice.
yeah, he had a blast. It was a great time.
Yeah, I saw the pictures Cindy posted on Facebook over the course of it. It looked like you guys had a great time.
Oh yeah. Well, I kind of rely on Cindy to do a lot of the picture stuff. I'm so bad with that shit. Like we got to like, I don't know, like the third or fourth night or something. And I like went to go look at the pictures on my phone and I'm like, all right, there's only 3 pictures here. Whoops.
I get like I'm good at taking photos, just not good at taking photos of people. So there's a severe lack of photos of myself on the internet, which is actually kind of a blessing. But at the same time, I always joke saying I'm like one of the least photogenic people there is because like barely anybody knows what I look like.
I mean, it's not a bad way to be.
Nah. It's interesting now because now that we have the video podcasts for mainly for 3DO, but also occasionally GNC, people have been like, oh, so that's what you look like. And I'm like, it hasn't really been a secret, but I guess this is kind of a reveal.
Yeah, I mean, you've been using your real name the whole time. Anybody who wanted to pop on Facebook and look you up could have.
Speaking of that, I don't know if you saw that I had an imposter going around for a little while.
Yeah, they almost suckered me.
Okay, so you got it too. Everyone was like, I think you got hacked. And the whole time I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. So I'm like changing my password. And then I find out I didn't get hacked. There's just an imposter running around. So I had to like go to Facebook TOS and like basically be like, yo, can you guys do something about this, please? I've reported it like twice. And it's still here.
Mm-hmm.
I think they finally got rid of it.
Yeah. I was seeing that pop up. But I think I got a friend request and I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, did he make? But it was a picture of you with like the whole podcasting setup. So I was like, oh, maybe he made like a professional account or something. And
yeah. It's funny to me. Like I was looking at the people who fell for it. I was like, oh man, guys, like all you had to do was click on the profile. You could see very clearly that wasn't me. But Facebook. What are you gonna do?
No kidding.
The best part is too, like I posted just a status basically telling people to be aware. And the comments are immediately just flooded with bots being like, come here to help recover account.
I saw that.
I'm like, Jesus, like it's not even subtle. And the best part is when you call them out, the bots respond now. So like,
jeez.
Yeah. So that's been my last 2 weeks. Like not nearly as exciting as what you guys were doing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was a good time. I think by the 4th day in the park, we kind of got burnt out a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever been to a theme park more than like 2 days max. So I can't even imagine like 4 days.
Yeah. Well, Cindy and I did 3 days on our honeymoon. And that was fine. It was weird though, because it was the exact same week of the same month, just 4 years later. And it wasn't nearly as busy, I feel like. Well, it started, our first day there was Monday. And then like Monday and Tuesday were relatively like decent as far as not being that many people, and then there's Wednesday and Thursday is when like we started getting progressively more and more people to the point where like if we wanted to go back to the hotel at 7 o'clock, just not happening. We had to sit outside and wait for like an hour because it was just a constant stream of people.
Yep.
You could be like, we were packed into the shuttle bus like sardines.
I think it's still a lot of it has to do with I've noticed this like just everywhere in general. This is like the first like real full year of everything being pretty much normal again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the world is just kind of resetting back to that insane normalcy again. So it's kind of like we're in that weird period now where everything's just like overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed it everywhere you go now.
Yeah. But I mean, it was like, I don't know, it was also like a really nice day those days too. Like the first couple of days were on a little bit cooler for that time of year. And then like it was Wednesday and Thursday, it was like in the 80s.
That must have been nice because we got freaking snowstorm after snowstorm up here.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was a real bring down coming back.
Yeah, being cold again and being just New England.
Yeah. Yeah, I told Cindy, I was like, don't you dare complain about being hot over there. Because
yeah,
you're gonna be missing it in a few days.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Mm.
Other than that, though, I haven't really been doing a whole lot. I finally fixed that glare problem that I had behind me. I got rid of the paper.
Yeah.
I moved the picture over, and now I have a shelf here.
Oh, there you go.
So no more awkward glare in the background.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's better than like, I mean, I got like a bare wall and like some of my aunt's old like blankets and tapestries hanging out. This is I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast, this is my aunt's old bedroom from when she was a kid. My grandmother lives right across the street, and it's just quieter over here, so I come over here for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about streaming at some point in the future. Maybe doing more YouTube video stuff. So like I'm trying to like build like a decent setup for a backdrop anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of like open space over here though that I kind of want to do something about.
Yeah. I wanted to ask after you started posting the video podcasts, I was looking around in your profile and I saw that you did a couple Let's Plays. I didn't even know about that. And they were actually pretty, like, they did really well.
They did okay. I mean, it was a different time for YouTube. I wouldn't recommend. So anyone who is that curious, you can go to the GNC Podcast Network YouTube channel, and keep in mind this YouTube channel's been around since 2007 and has been through many guises. So there's a few old Let's Plays from my very short-lived attempt at being a Let's Player, and I wouldn't recommend watching them because they're pretty cringe, especially the Pokemon Emerald run where I cheated halfway through it and pretended I didn't the whole time. I clearly used a money cheat through it, and you could see like I have like unlimited money throughout the playthrough, and I don't acknowledge it once. And I mysteriously all my Pokemon are level 99 by the end of it. I wonder how that happened. But yeah, that was I think I was in like high school when I recorded that. So.
Oh geez, I didn't even notice how old they were. I just saw it. I was like, oh wow, it was like 10,000 views on this. Like,
yeah, there was also the Sonic Adventure playthrough I did when I was working night shift at Richards.
Mm-hmm.
That was I got through that one, and I tried to do Ape Escape 3, and I think I went to third shift by then, and then it became way too much.
Yeah, I think I could definitely see that.
I think I fell out of love with YouTube, and I kind of like that's when I started up the Instagram stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but YouTube just got so weird. Like, I think it was right around the time when you started being able to make money off of YouTube when things got really weird.
Well, it's like nowadays it's like it's so corporate and you have to follow so many rules, and it's really weird because all of like the iconic YouTubers now are like either leaving or they're all getting outed as freaking weirdos.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, it's been kind of wild. I'm not gonna divulge too into that, but a lot of prominent YouTubers that we probably watched back in the day they aren't the greatest of people we've learned recently. So
makes sense.
That's why you never trust, never. I always say never like really meet your heroes, and I guess that's kind of why.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So a few weeks back, you said you were going to start reading the Gold and Silver manga, and just to get a head start. Did you ever continue with that, or?
Honestly, haven't had time. Haven't had time, unfortunately.
Okay, I was just curious because I started doing that this week just to get ahead of the game a little bit.
I might
Um,
start actually this upcoming week because it looks like things are finally calming down.
mhm.
Um, I did read more of I read the newest volume of Chainsaw Man. That was cool.
Oh, nice.
Um, I've been catching up on a few animes. Me and Alex did and it's not released yet, but we did another anime swap. So I watched one of the shows for that.
Mm, that's cool.
Um, yeah, it's been pretty busy though. I'm still plucking away through Rurouni Kenshin. I finally finished the Kyoto arc, so now I'm in filler hell, but
Yeah,
I'll
I mean,
get through
there's
that.
still some fun stuff in there, but yeah, it's once you finish Kyoto, it's kind of like, all right, what are we doing here? Like,
I just want to finish it just to watch it once and say I did.
mm,
Then I can watch the OVAs, and then I'm gonna probably power through the new series, and then I'm officially on Attack on Titan.
mhm.
So that's
Yeah, well, at least there's not like that much filler. I mean, when you look at it like ratios with in the show itself, it's a lot, but episode wise, it's like what 30 episodes.
yeah, it's like one more season, so it shouldn't be that bad.
Hmm.
Um, Speaking of manga, though, I you probably saw, but I've completed two more series. I now
Oh
have
yeah,
I've got the rest of Death Note, other than Volume 13, but apparently that's not necessary. So
that's more like a guidebook. It's like character bios. It's like I think it has the original pilot chapter in it, like stuff like that. I haven't.
I might grab it at some point if I see it. They didn't have it at the Newbury Comics. I got the rest of the singles from, so I figured I'd pass for now. But the big one I got is I have all of the Viz Bigs of OG Dragon Ball now,
Nice.
all
Hell yeah.
five of them, in that obnoxiously big fourth volume.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was
And then when
laughing.
I was gonna say when you finish Z, it's gonna be like outrageously small last one for that one.
Yeah, the two in one at the end because
Yeah.
stupidness. But yes, Z's my next project. I have the first volume of that in Visbig, so I got to get the other 8. I want to say.
Yeah, it's there's 9 of those.
Yeah, so that'll be a eventual project, and then I'll be caught up on Dragon Ball.
There you go. You'll have what? You already have all the super ones, right?
I have all the super ones, including 20, which isn't even released yet.
I think that comes out on Tuesday of this week.
Yeah,
Actually, the same day this comes out.
yeah. Ironically, I went to Newbury and not Newbury. I went to Barnes and Noble to pick up. What did I go to pick up? I forget what I actually was there for, but I was there and then I actually saw Chainsaw Man and Dragon Ball just sitting on the shelf, and I was like, "Hey, might as well grab these."
Yeah, at that point.
Like, oh yeah, Barnes and Noble does not care about release dates. The second they get it in, they just put it on the shelf. So
No kidding.
yeah, so I grabbed those. So eventually, I'm gonna get into Super soon.
Mhm.
I just have to. My freaking plate is so fucking full right now of shit I gotta like catch up on.
Well, you know what we could do is we could split it up into chunks, and like we could both read them and do episodes on like I'd say for the first one we'd probably just go through Goku Black because that's only like the first, like by the end of the 5th volume I think that's over.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize it starts like after like the Beerus and uh, Resurrection F stuff.
Yeah, it's weird because it tells like the first half of the Battle of God story, and then it's like, hey, go watch the movie, and then it just completely skips over Frieza entirely,
Yeah,
and it just goes straight into Universe 6. So I mean, at least they skipped like probably the worst of the arcs, but
which is sad because they're only bad because we're just tired of them at this point.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, I mean, everyone does know that Resurrection F is the weakest of the new Dragon Ball movies for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because it's mostly just a fight scene,
Yeah, it's just fight after fight.
and Goku
Right.
totally snipes Vegeta at the end.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it would have been kind of cool to have that in the manga, just so we could have like a more realized version of it, I guess.
I mean, the anime did it much better than the movie did.
Yeah, to a degree.
Well,
I still have my problems with it, but
it gave at least some development because, like, the fight just happens in the movie, and you're like, oh, okay.
mm-hmm.
At least, like, Battle of Gods, like, the movie is still very enjoyable. Honestly, I think the anime version is too drawn out, so.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't like some of the changes they made on it. Like, I don't know, they took out Vegeta's bingo dance and had him making takoyaki. Like,
also, the
cruise. Okay.
Also, the cruise ship just wasn't nearly as interesting as the backyard party.
No, not at all. But yeah, I was thinking like maybe if we split it up like that, like I think the first 5 volumes covers like up to Goku Black, and then I want to say through volume 9 is Tournament of Power. And then, there's just Moro and Granola after that. So
yeah, and I saw like the sneak peeks for like volume like 21, I think, has Goten and Trunks finally grown up. So
yeah, because it's gonna have a little like a 3 or 4 chapter prequel arc to Superhero, and then it just does Superhero.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have at least a few, like 2 or 3 volumes of Superhero being retold.
Yeah, and then Daima's coming out sooner or later, so that'll be another interesting thing.
I think that's in the fall.
Still not sure what to think of it, but I'm gonna watch it regardless.
I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I mean, it's more Dragon Ball. I'm just curious. I'm curious if it's even canon. That's my whole confusion with it.
I guess we won't really know until the time comes.
Yeah,
to, like, see how it fits in and stuff.
I'm just gonna laugh if he somehow makes it canon. It's like, oh yeah, there was this one point in time where we all just became kids for like a couple weeks and then stopped.
What I'm confused about is like, well, first of all, like, how are the people who are getting turned into kids being chosen? Is this like, are we just saying like everyone that Goku knows is being turned into a kid or something like that, or is it like something more specific? I'm not sure. But if everyone's getting aged down to the point where Goten and Trunks are babies again, what's that going to do to Pan?
That's a good question. That's a question that I don't want the answer to.
She's just going to be like an embryo?
She's going to just disappear from existence.
Yeah, I don't know. It just the things that come into my mind sometimes.
I'm hoping that it's that they're not actually kids and they're just chibi for whatever reason.
I'm pretty sure they're actually kids because when you saw Mr. Satan, he didn't have a beard or a mustache.
True.
Same with Oxcan or Master Roshi for that matter. So yeah, they were all beardless. Yeah. So I'm guessing that they're actual children.
All right. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, either way, I can't see it being worse than how GT was handled.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least Toriyama will be involved this time, so.
Yeah.
GT was just like they didn't know what to do.
Yeah. So yeah, on the train ride down on the trip, I was just kind of messing around on my phone, and I happened to find a really good deal in the first 7 volumes of Spy Family, so I ended up picking those up too. So yeah, now I just need 4 more volumes, and I'll be caught up.
3. It's only up to 10.
Oh, is it?
So it's up to 10, and then there's the guidebook, like the Eyes Only guidebook, which has a bunch of like bonus stuff. There's also a light novel novelization as well.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'll probably, it probably won't be immediately because I'm still kind of tapped out from the trip, but
yeah,
definitely gonna have to pick up the rest of those.
That's understandable. Been playing any games recently, or?
Yeah, I'm still plugging away at Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm pretty sure I'm close to the end though, because I'm at the point right now where I'm doing a bunch of side quests before I storm Shinra.
Nice.
So I'm on, I think, chapter 12, or no, chapter 14. And I'm pretty sure there's 16, so I'm pretty close to the end.
Yeah, I got to give that game another shot at some point. I just haven't. I don't know. Something about it just bothers me.
That's fair. I mean, you grow up with it one way, you kind of get that idea in your mind. It's kind of, I imagine it being the same thing about how like people who grew up with the first Full Metal show prefer that over Brotherhood.
Yeah, that's true.
Like even though like I mean I'm not saying definitively that the Final Fantasy VII remake is better or worse, but despite the fact that Brotherhood is definitely the better story, you still have that rose tinted glasses for the first. So
I think the difference is with the 7 remake, it is officially considered an alternate universe, separate from everything. So you kind of don't have to. It's not technically replacing the original. It just kind of exists on its own.
Yeah.
Speaking of games, though, I've actually I've started my yearly playthrough of Persona 4.
Oh, there you go. You're a little early this time.
This is around when I usually do start it. I just
Oh, I thought you said you usually do it around the end of the year.
No, I start it near the beginning of the year. It's usually around the end of the year I finish it.
Oh, okay. I see.
I started it though because we got in a conversation on the Retro Hangover server. Basically, we were discussing. Everyone was picking their favorite waifus from the game, and it was like it got to the point where like I was like, I really want to play Persona 4, and then I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna play Persona 4." So I started playing Persona 4 again.
Well, that's kind of funny because I had a similar thing happen before I left on the trip. Because, well, a little sneak peek for I don't know how far down the line it'll be, but at some point soon, we were planning on covering the Stand miniseries. So I had watched it twice because I kept thinking we were gonna do it that week, and then kept getting pushed. But every time I finished watching it, I was just like, damn, I just really want to read the Stand again.
Yeah.
Just every time I watched it, I was just like, man, I just want to read the book.
Yeah, I get that because it's like sometimes like the more you talk about something, you just like all of a sudden you're like, God, I wanted to play it again.
Yeah.
Because that's Persona 4 for me. That's just my comfort game because I've played that game yearly since 2012, so I think it's like 13 times now. Or 14. I think 13. I've played Golden 13 times, and then I've played the original like twice. So I think I've played it 15 times total now.
Jeez.
But it's just one of those games that never gets old to me.
Well, I'm kind of going through a similar thing right now. Like when I'm just hanging out in bed and I want to play something, I've been playing Legacy of Goku after we had that Dragon Ball discussion with the games.
Yeah. Oh, did you ever check your PSP?
I haven't been over there yet, no. But I'm keeping it in my mind. The next time I'm over there, I'm gonna grab it and see what's up with it. The last time I used it, it was fine, but I don't know how long ago that was.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Those old batteries are a little concerning sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you can just swap those batteries out, though, can't you?
Yeah, you can get another one. It's just you don't ever want them to blow up.
Yeah, well,
because unfortunately that can unfortunately hurt the actual hardware. But
yeah.
Meanwhile, Nintendo handhelds like the SP and stuff have had their batteries in there for like decades, and they're still fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I never heard of anything like that happening before, and I haven't used that thing in God knows how long. But I would like to dig it out anyway because, like, for the past couple of years, I keep getting a hankering to play Lord of the Rings Tactics, and that's the only system it ever came out for. So it's either I got to figure out a way to emulate it, or I just got to dig it out.
There was a lot of tactical games, like a lot of series would get like tactical game spin-offs for whatever reason. Like the Yu Yu Hakusho one, I still find amusing. Still have not got that in the mail, so I'm pretty sure that's gone forever. But
yeah, well, I mean, it's not too expensive, so you can always try to get a different one.
Yeah, just annoying because it's like couldn't get my money back because they were like, don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it is a solid game though. I definitely recommend it. Just skip the dialogue because it's way too much. Way too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, for Yu Yu Hakusho, I guess it makes sense because that is a pretty dialogue-heavy show.
Yeah, well, it's not even that because they add a lot to it because it's literally just like because they try to make like the Dark Tournament like they try to make it like a huge map with all the levels and like there's different sections of the island that you have to get through and like different rounds of the tournament and stuff and like almost every other mission that you or every other level that you do, there's like a big dialogue thing. So it's just a bunch of made up dialogue for the game, but It's got nothing to do with the actual story from the show.
Yeah, that's understandable. It's funny. Persona 3 Reload actually came out today.
Mm-hmm.
My copy got delayed in the mail, so I won't be here till tomorrow. But
Yeah.
I'm interested in picking that one up again because, like, it sounds like they've addressed most of my issues with the original game
Mm-hmm.
at this point. So I might actually enjoy it. I shouldn't say I didn't enjoy the original Persona 3. I just had problems with it
Yeah.
because it's clearly the first one they did in that style.
I still need to get around to playing Vor. I have it. I have it on my Switch and on my Vita. I just haven't put the time into it yet. It's just I
Yeah,
know it's gonna be a big undertaking. I know it's a long game, and I'm probably gonna get really into it. But like, I just don't know if I'm ready for that kind of commitment right now.
that's the thing with Personas. Like, they're a lot of game. You got to kind of work your way into them.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get into them, if you like them, you end up getting sucked into them. So
Oh, see, that's the thing is I know I will get sucked into it, but like when you're trying to keep up with a 2-year-old, it's
yeah,
you can't really afford to get sucked into something that deep.
I hear you.
And she's getting her molars in now, so that's creating a whole nother set of problems.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, she's 2 now. That's
Mm-hmm.
wild because I still remember that. That felt like yesterday.
Yeah, I know. It's been crazy how fast it's gone by.
Yeah, because God, yeah, it's crazy because I still remember being in the area and then just like everything went to hell. No,
Mm-hmm.
completely different lives.
Yeah. But she's
Oh
getting
man,
good though. She's starting to get better with talking and stuff. She can count to 10 now, so that's cool.
nice.
She's getting better with it. She loves singing. She's crazy about singing all the time, even though she can't usually get the words out. It's usually just gibberish, but
Yeah,
she knows how to go along with the tune, so
that's
that's
good.
something.
Yeah, it's funny. Uh, I've been trying to keep up because like anime releases this year are like all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like certain ones I definitely want to watch, but like I gotta really get through Attack on Titan. That's like the big one this year,
Yeah, that's a priority project right there.
especially because I have like 5 people like watching me, like being like, "Have you watched it yet?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a big project I got to get through. I really want to get back into playing games more though, because I really didn't play a lot of games last year.
Yeah, well, my game time is going to be limited until she gets a little bit older. Once she
Yeah,
hits like 4 or 5 years old, I'll probably get a lot back into gaming. It just
yeah.
sucks though. It's like I'm a gamer who has no time for games. It's the worst feeling in the world.
That's how it is in life. It's like when you're a gamer and you're a kid, you have all the time for games but no money to buy games. And once you're an adult, you have all the money to buy games but no time to play them.
Yeah, unless you're a parent, then you don't have either.
Yeah, yeah.
Excuse me. Old chair.
Or or you bought a house and that's your life now.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, I finished Seven Deadly Sins.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I'd still have to watch the movies, which I didn't know there were. Like, there's like three or four movies.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on like I'm just browsing through like Netflix, like Crunchyroll, uh High Dive, and it's amazing to me how many different shows there are now available.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the titles too are absolutely ridiculous. I've noticed lately.
Oh yeah, I think
Like,
we had this discussion when the season 3 wrap up about like the ridiculous anime titles.
well, the vending machine one at least is entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I saw one recently though that like really drew me for a loop. It was I've somehow gotten stronger when I improved my farm related skills.
Oh, I saw that one.
I
Did you?
posted in the server because I was like, "What is this?" Not gonna lie, it looks interesting though, so I might check it out.
There's a lot of ridiculous names for animes out there. Just
There's so
wild.
so many of them have to do with like being in the dungeon, and I'm always because they're like RPG themed. I'm always like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, a lot of isekais.
Yeah, isekais are pretty popular. I've noticed.
Yeah, they really like I mean they always kind of existed, but I feel like in the past 10 years they've just been like taking over.
Yeah, I mean they're popular and people like them, even though they're really dumb. But you
Yeah.
also get that's kind of why like shows like Konosuba are so funny because that one's self-aware.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, that's the
also,
thing. The whole fish out of water thing is good if it's done right, but like
mm,
if it's just kind of like, oh, I guess I'm in a video game, gotta go do video game stuff. It's like, well, you're not really doing a fish out of water thing. That's kind of like the main draw with that genre.
well, that's like my favorite part about that time I got reincarnated as a slime because he literally just he shows up and he just becomes OP and he just goes about his business.
I love that he's just a eunuch through the whole thing. Like,
Yeah, there's legit that show is so humorous and like lighthearted, but there's legit a point in the middle of the series where Rimuru just commits fucking genocide on basically, and it's like what?
yeah, right. Just out of nowhere, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna be a demon lord today.
And I'm just gonna murder everybody, and it's like what? But it's played
Yeah,
for laughs. Like it's completely played for laughs.
that was pretty wild. Yeah, and then like everything from that point onward, it's just like, hey, remember that time I killed all those people and became a demon lord?
Well, the whole reason he did it was to bring back Shion and like the rest of his
Hmm.
villagers
Yeah.
because they decided to attack his village for some reason.
Hmm.
And then it's like it's hilarious because like that season 2 ends and then we're still waiting on season 3, but they released the Slime Diaries in between,
Hmm.
which technically takes place before season 2, but it's like all slice of life, like lighthearted shit.
That's kind of cool. I might have to check that out at some point.
Oh, it
I'm
was, it
still
was a
like,
fun little watch.
oh, I'm sure. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for like, because I don't know. Towards the end of the year, I kind of started taking a break from anime because I just watched so much last year comparatively to the past few years before that,
Hmm.
and like I have so many other shows that I need to check out, and I'm just trying to figure out where I should start, and that's kind of what's holding me up.
For anime or just shows in general.
Mainly for anime.
Yeah, that's the kind of the big struggle is because there's just like so many shows like Jujutsu Kaisen's finally done, so like I can move that one out of the way. Spy Family's done for a while until the movie.
Yeah, I
Um,
probably should catch up on Jujutsu Kaisen, and I watched the first episode of the new Kenshin, so I intend to watch the rest of it. I just,
well, especially now that they've announced that the Kyoto arc is happening,
mhm.
so it's like I want to at least get caught up so I can when that starts releasing, I can watch it from scratch. Honestly wonder now that I've seen the Kyoto arc, how they're going to handle that for the new series.
I mean, it'll be a failure if they don't get Steve Bloom back for what's his name, Shishio.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I doubt they will, but
That'd be a shame.
because they didn't bring anybody back. Honestly, well, I mean,
Yeah, but Steve Bloom, he dips his toes into every dubbing
true,
company, so he could show up for anything.
true. Honestly, there's a lot of like well-known actors and actresses in that the the anime works Media Blasters dub, that is the Sony dub.
Mhm.
Less said the better.
Yeah.
I still think it's funny that Kenshin and Megumi have the same actor and actress in the both dubs, but they're completely different directions.
Are they really? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, Kenshin's definitely. I think it's Richard Castano is his name,
Mhm.
or that might be his alias. But it's definitely him in both. But like in one, he says all these like goofy words, and in the Sony dub, he's just boring.
Yeah.
A funny one I noticed was Kaoru's voice actress uh, is actually Komi's mom, and Komi can't communicate.
Really?
Yeah, I was like looking through her behind the voice actress, and I saw it was like Shuku Komi. I was like, oh, it's her mom. With the mom
That's
who's always 17.
that's hilarious. That's such a different vibe.
Well, she's a lot older now, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's just funny though. Like I think Lex Lang was in that dub as well. I think he was I can't remember his name, but the big sword guy.
Oh, Sanosuke.
Sanosuke, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lex Lang, who I like know mostly as Neocortex from Crash.
Really?
The second Neocortex voice, anyways, not the original The original Neocortex was Mr. Krabs,
Oh, okay.
Clancy Brown. Yeah.
That's cool.
Is there
But yeah,
anything
it's
new?
just like, Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, is there any new sci-fi going on right now, or?
Season 2 of Halo comes out this month.
Oh yeah,
You look so enthused.
I watched one episode of that and I was like, "This is shit," and I just took it off.
I know my wife and I liked it when we watched it. I just don't take it seriously.
You know what did it for me? The
What's
first person shooter section that somehow looked worse than Halo 1. I was just like, after I saw that, I was like, really? Also, he takes his helmet off every 5 seconds. I was like, what is this? Like nonsense.
I don't know. See, I was never really invested in like the Halo lore or anything, so I really could give a shit. I just thought it was fun. Just fun, stupid sci-fi, just shooting aliens.
I was just so perplexed by it. I was like, this is bizarre. Because I really like I like the Halo anime.
Oh, I forgot that was a thing.
Well, it was more of an OVA. It was like 6 OVAs, like in like this Halo Legends, I think it was called. I found that really entertaining, but mostly because like Master Chief was like not really in it at all. He was kind of more of a. I think he only appeared in like one of those things, and then like, the rest were all like anthology stories.
Sorry, I'm yawning so much.
Nah, it's alright. It's alright. I deal with it with Alex enough as it is. So.
Well, the little one's been waking me up in the middle of the night like every day this week. So.
I've slept terribly this week. Like, I have not been able to like. I think I've been like going to sleep at like 11 every night just because I haven't been able to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting up at 4 every day has just been rough. But
yeah, that's usually around the range of amount of hours of sleep I get.
Yeah, I've had like a few, like before we were recording this, I was upstairs just sitting on the couch, and I think I dozed off for a good like 20 minutes, and I was like, "Shit, what time is it?" It's just so tough. Like, the older you get, the more tired you are, just all the time.
Oh yeah, like I'm still not a nap person, but like if it's like afternoon and I'm just kind of sitting on the couch, I'll just fall asleep without realizing it. Like especially if I'm like watching a movie or something. Like yeah. I always used to give my dad shit. Like whenever me and my dad would watch a movie together, I'd always give him shit for falling asleep halfway through the movie, and now I like totally get it.
I had that with my mom all the time back in the day. Like we'd be watching a movie, and I'd look over, she's asleep, and I'd be like, as a kid, you didn't get it, but as an adult, I'm like, I get it. She's tired.
Yeah.
Because I'm always tired now.
Mm-hmm. The city does the same thing. She always falls asleep. I don't know. She just can't resist laying down. Like I always tell her, like I always look at her and she looks like she's about to fall asleep. I'm like, well, if you just sit up, like.
Yeah, but you get so comfy and you don't notice.
Yeah.
I was laughing because going back to like New Year's, like I hung out with Alex all night, and it was like 8 o'clock, and Alex was like, "It's only 8. I want to go to bed." She's like, "I'm like, it's all right. We only got like 7 more hours to go," and she was like, Also, yeah. Like growing up, like I've realized like the whole like Times Square, like watching the ball drop, that is like the most overrated thing ever to me.
It really is.
Like you watch the people there and they all look fucking miserable. Like,
yeah, especially like the last couple of times we've watched it, because I remember I think it was right after, or it was the end of 2020, I think, when we watched the ball drop, and everyone's wearing masks and they all look miserable. I think that was the last time we watched it.
That one was great just because everyone was in masks and they were all, rather than, so this made me laugh because I was like, this is so stupid. Not only so they were like trying to like separate people, but they had them clustered into like these boxes all shoved in like sardines.
Yeah,
like all over the place. I'm like that. I'm like, okay. I'm like that makes sense. We're trying to separate by cramming like groups of people together. It's like,
yeah.
I was just like, whatever at this point.
Like, in the middle of Times Square with like thousands of people, I really don't think it matters at this point. Like,
oh, from what I've heard about people who have actually been to Times Square, it is miserable because you're basically stuck out there for hours and there's no bathrooms. Like once you're there, you're kind of stuck there. So
yeah, everything's closed on New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah. and it's freezing, and it's just it's just like a shitty like
Mm.
thing that people just do for some reason.
Yeah, I think we tried to stay up last New Year's, or maybe it was the one before that, and we got to like 9 o'clock, and we were like, "Yeah, fuck this," like all set.
Me and Alex do it every year. Like we get to midnight, and then it's like, crap. Now what do we do?
Time to go to bed.
This year was great because New Year, like the ball dropped, and I was like, all right, I'm going home, and I'm just like walking across the street, shit faced drunk, like just being like, and she's like, just please. She was like, call me when you get home. I'm like, it's across the street. She's like, yeah, but you're like wasted, so go home. Meanwhile, I'm like texting people on Discord, being like, Happy New Year, I'm drunk.
That was like my favorite thing when I was younger was being somewhere like during like an event like that, getting drunk and being within stumbling distance of home is like the best thing ever.
Well, it was just funny because like my distance from Alex is literally like I can walk, like it's like legit right like across the street. So I'm like literally just like in the at midnight, just walking across the street with my flashlight, like being like, all right, going home.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny to me.
That was the cool thing about when I lived with my mom is I had like a bunch of my friends that lived like really close by, and like they would have like we didn't have like constant parties, but we had like consistent enough parties. Like we'd have like one every couple months or something. Like we'd have like a decent sized one, and like I mean I'm not a drinker, but like every now and then I'll cut loose and I'll get to that point, and it was just nice being able to just stumble my way home. Not have to worry about it.
Yeah, no, that's always fun. Like it's funny to me because as like a kid, you don't even you struggle, like you're desperate to stay up till like midnight every year, but they always make you go to sleep. But then like once you're an adult, you're just like, oh, I just want to go to bed.
Yep.
Don't have time for this.
Like I think one of my favorite nights of the whole year is when the clocks get set back. It's just so I can get that extra hour of sleep.
See, that got ruined for me by working third shift.
Yeah.
Because there's just something disheartening about that when like you're watching the clock and then all of a sudden it just changes and you're like, shit.
I can imagine. Did you at least get an hour overtime for that?
Well, the time change never happened while we were actually at work.
Oh, I see.
But it was like to get back on it was actually the night before, so you had to get back on your sleep schedule. So you'd be staying up, and you just see the clock change. You'd be like, oh, I got to stay up another hour. Like, no. Yeah, it wasn't fun.
So
and
if
then,
okay.
Now you go.
I was just gonna ask, going back to like the trip stuff, have you ever been to Universal?
I haven't. The farthest I really have not gone west at all of like Massachusetts. Like the farthest south I've gone is South Carolina.
Okay. I was just curious because I mean it's a lot of fun there. I mean, like I said before, it's like just a few days is kind of like the max. But
I'd like to go to Universal at some point, just because like not as many people talk about it. Because everyone talks about Disneyland or Disney World, and I think Disney World's kind of overrated. But
it's super. I mean, it could also be the time of year that I went. I've only been once, and it was like the week of Christmas, so it was like fucking packed. Like,
yeah,
you couldn't move without bumping into somebody, and I'm not a fan of big crowds like that.
Yeah.
So I was and I was an adult. I was fucking miserable.
I'm also just I'm not a Disney adult, so like I have like zero attachment to a lot of the Disney stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm not like crazy about Disney, but I watched it as a kid, and now that I have kids, I have like a new like appreciation for it, being a parent with kids that watch Disney and stuff. But
well, there's a difference between that and then there's people that Disney is their personality.
Yeah, I've met people like that.
Yeah.
And nice people and all, it's just not for me.
The last one I met was Alex's ex, and he was a piece of shit. So
yeah, well, I mean, my friend's mom is like Disney crazy, and she's an absolute sweetheart. But
Yeah. I think it
just
might
gets
be
to a point. Like I remember this one. I think it was the first time like me and Cindy actually hung out, like before we actually started dating, and she came over to his house because he was still living with his mom at the time, and I don't know. I made like some like offhand comment about like it was like one of those signs of like the town is established, blah blah blah. I'm like, why do you have this? And he starts going on like this huge rage thing about like, why do I have that? Why do I have this? And he like holds up like a Mickey Mouse toaster. He's like, why do I have this and this? Like,
see, it's like
it's like a fucking spatula with Mickey Mouse ears on the end. Like, what the fuck?
yeah. I mean, I shouldn't judge because I mean I literally have like PlayStation, like I've got a Master System that's just chilling there. This is broken, by the way. It just sits here now.
Oh yeah, it's just decoration.
Yeah, it's a running joke from 3DO where I always joke that I have a broken Master System for some reason, and now it just sits back there.
That's funny. Yeah, I actually I started listening to 3DO a little bit. I'm like 4 or 5 episodes in so far.
Oh yeah, the first 3 episodes are nothing like anything after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last one I listened to was the first one Thrak was on. So I'm getting into the part where after he revived it.
Yeah, and it actually becomes a consistent show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the first 3 episodes, well, the first episode's a joke. It's literally just me talking to myself for 14 minutes. The second and third episodes that were pretty cool. They were that was my original goal for 3DO, like direction, where I wanted to be kind of like a experiment show like that. But then I found out finding guests for that is really hard because no one knows what a 3DO is.
Yeah.
I got lucky and got the first 2 done like within like a span of each other, and then it was like I hit like this roadblock.
I was like, uh-oh, what do I do now?
And then like a year later, Thrak kind of just became the host, and then we've been going ever since.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's definitely the most structured show I do at this point, because GNC is definitely not structured, and then this is mostly a shoot in the shit kind of show. So
yeah, which is the kind of thing I usually prefer. Is if I'm gonna make a podcast, I'm gonna try to. Well, I say it like I mean, I just kind of show up. You got to do all the work, but
I don't edit much. So,
but generally, like if I'm gonna be a part of something like this, I'd like it to be the type of thing I would like to listen to. You know.
No, that's why I like this show because it's chill, and I don't have to follow as many scripts and rule changes as I do on my other shows.
Mm-hmm.
Because 3DO I actually have to do research for, and then GNC is very dependent on what the topic is.
Yeah, and keeping up with the chaos.
Keeping up with the chaos, which is hilarious when we have a guest on because she suddenly gets really calm and normal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, how you are with your siblings is different than how you are with, I don't know, strangers probably isn't the right word, but I mean, practically.
She's created a cult around water bottles. That's like her newest thing.
I've noticed that.
I don't understand where it came from, but it happened. So
I've contributed to that page a little bit.
I think we all have, just out of irony. I found that great like water bottle triggered image recently, and I was like, this perfectly sums up Alex.
It's awesome. And then yeah, between that and the Kermit the Frog thing, like all these things just keep happening on the Discord.
Snickerman started that, and it just has become a thing all of a sudden. And now those gifs are evolving because like Rick posted the one of like them jumping on the bed, and then it cuts to Kermit's suicide, and I was like, what? I was like, oh god, they're evolving.
Oh jeez.
There's a Kermit gif for every situation though. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way.
Yeah, I was joking because like every server that I'm in has its own little gimmick. Like I've noticed, like Rick's server has like the Garfield gimmick, and then like there's a bunch of other ones that are just crazy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what the gimmick over in the novel console server is at this point yet.
I don't know.
We joke that it's that cursed Sonic and Mario gift that appears every now and then.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
No, you have, because you commented on it once.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, the one of Sonic and Mario making out.
Oh, right. Oh, God. I think I blocked that out.
Don't worry, it'll appear again at some point.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that I'm sure Will listen to this episode and immediately post it out of spite. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm mostly on your server, but I pop into Novel Console and Pixel Project from time to time.
Mm,
Try to have some conversations here and there. I'm enough of an introvert in real life. I could at least try to interact online.
yeah. I My problem is I'm in like too many servers now, and I'm always trying to like keep up with all of them, but it's so hard to keep up with all of them at this point.
Yeah, I have enough trouble just keeping up with three of them, and I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I'm bad at talking to people through text. I feel like
I,
I always give off the wrong vibe, and I don't know.
I've gotten much better at it because I do it so much now, but like it took a while to like get comfortable just writing stuff.
Yeah, there's been a lot of times where like I'll look at something that somebody responded to me with, and I'll be like, how do I even respond to that? Like, never mind. I'll just
Well,
put it away.
well, sometimes it's just like better too because there's a few people I've that they do that as a joke where they'll post something that just makes you feel uncomfortable and you're just like, okay, this is where this ends, and you just move on.
Why did that happen on the Pixel Project Radio Discord? Is that the first thing I ever commented on there was just like a dumb little joke that like people who know me would get what I was going for and if they didn't think it was funny, they'd at least give me like a sympathy chuckle. But like I don't know, I just feel like if it was like a real life conversation and I said that, everyone would have just been looking at me like I had three heads. So I just
Yeah,
shit. Like bad first impression.
no, I hear you. Oh man, yeah, I've been like debating like games I want to play this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sucks because like there's new games coming out, but I just like am not really interested in new games anymore.
Yeah, unless there's something like really specific that comes out. Like obviously I don't have the system for it right now, but when Fable 4 comes out, I'm definitely gonna want to play that. Um,
Mm.
and then I'm pretty close to beating Final Fantasy VII remake right now. And then when I finish that, I'm probably gonna jump over to Hogwarts Legacy because I've been hearing nothing but good things about that game. My wife's been playing it. Like whenever she has the opportunity, she's playing it.
I've heard it's a great game if you're like a Harry Potter fan. So
Yeah, well, I mean, I just went to the Wizarding World, so. But
well,
I mean, I grew up reading the books.
yeah,
I went to the fucking overnight book release at Borders for the seventh book. Like, there's a picture that only exists on one of those, those digital picture frame things where you load a bunch of pictures onto it, and cycles through them. This picture, I'm pretty sure, only exists on one of those that my grandmother owns, and it's a picture of me dressed up like Harry Potter with that book from that night.
yeah.
I was in middle school, so.
That's like one of my favorite like internet GIF like memes ever. Is like the Harry. It was like one of the Harry Potter movie premieres, and like everyone was waiting out in line, and you get the asshole in the car who drives by who just goes, "Snape kills Dumbledore," and you get the person in line screaming, "You bitch!" I love that. I love that GIF so much because it just highlights like how stupid those lines can be sometimes.
For real. And then like at the same time, like I think that's friggin' hilarious because the dude obviously knew, so he must have read it. So he's like making fun of them, but he's obviously known.
Well, you forget there's a bunch of movie only people that don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you didn't know that by the time the Half Blood Prince movie came out, then that's kind of your fault.
Yeah.
There was a good
Well,
few years between the book and the movie.
true. I mean, to be fair though, there was at least a decent like that was before like the internet was really bad with spoilers. Like
Mm-hmm.
the first movie I can really think of where spoilers were like that bad is like still like Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you couldn't go anywhere without Endgame spoilers popping up.
Well, I mean, I've heard a few things here and there, but I pay so little attention to Marvel anyway that anything that I did hear just kind of got driven out.
Yeah, I mean, if you were like deep into it, like I was at the time, like you had to like dodge everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to wait till the Blu-ray came out because I missed it in theaters because it came out at a weird time in theaters.
I was actually really surprised that I managed to avoid all spoilers for Attack on Titan, the ending,
Hmm.
and that the manga's been done for like like a year or two, I think. It's been a bit since the manga ended. So I'm surprised I stayed completely spoiler free for that whole time.
Yeah. See, nowadays you just get spoiled in like the most hilarious points. Like I always joke about how I got spoiled for Oshinoko in the Formula One subreddit.
Oh yeah. That's
Like,
another one I need to watch. That you said that's on High Dive, right?
yep.
Yeah. I'll have to just get a trial just so I can bang that out and then I'll close it out. I
Well, there's
can't
a bunch.
afford any more streaming services.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff on High Dive, so it is worth at least checking some of that stuff out.
Yeah, well, I'll get the trial. I'll binge Oshinoko, and then I'll just look through and see what else is there. And if I think it's worth dropping something else to get that, then I'll do it. But
Yeah, I'll highly recommend Azumanga Daioh any day.
yeah, that's one of those classic ones that I need to get around to. There's a bunch of classics that I just missed over the years, and I know I'll get to them eventually. It's just
Yeah,
like I say, it's hard. It's hard to figure out where to start when you're trying to catch up on stuff.
Yeah, I've been trying to bang out a bunch of 26ers, like just because they're 26, 24ers, because they're just so easy to get through.
Yeah, short and sweet. Get through it in half a week.
Yeah,
If
anything
you're diligent about it, at least.
yeah, anything over 26 is like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like a 42 or 48 or even a I think like the longest one that's still considered somewhat short is like a 60, like a Full Metal Alchemist like style, like 60 something.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's like right on like the edge of like starting to get long, but still short enough where like if you're into it, you can easily finish it like within a few days.
Yeah. Like it also shows you just how much like bloat and like unnecessary filler was in like shows back in the day. Like you look at Rurouni Kenshin, like the old series compared to the new series, and there was so much bloat in the old series.
Oh yeah, like I mean, I only watched the first episode of the new series, but I can already tell that they cut out a lot of the bullshit.
Well, they're going right. They're basically trying to do a manga accurate version. So,
Oh, I'm into that. I'll buy this. Oh, that reminds me. I saw on Amazon that Shippuden is getting like a new Blu-ray release with like 30 episode seasons.
oh yeah, they're re-releasing Shippuden now on they're doing the Blu-rays like they did for the Naruto originals.
Yeah, I might finally actually get Shippuden because I certainly wasn't gonna buy the 12 episode sets.
Me who bought every fucking DVD, all fucking 38 of those things.
Yeah, I just didn't have it. I mean, I bought just the Pain ones because that was where the Hulu dub cut off, and I really wanted to watch Pain again. But
see, I did it the best. I did it in reverse. Like I started with 38 and went backwards. Well, because those were the easiest ones to find at the time because they were all available in like Best Buy and stuff, and then like I just kind of went backwards from there.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of worked. So
Yeah. Oh, have you seen that new Ghibli movie yet?
I still haven't yet. It's I don't know what service it's available on.
I think it's still in theaters.
Oh, maybe it is.
Because well, I mean, I don't know what the rules are with because we saw it in the Universal Theater while we were there, which is really nice, by the way. It's like first of all, the concessions were way cheaper than they are here, which is wild to me. And it was like these really nice like recline seats, and it was really cool. They had a bar there. You could bring
Nice.
you could bring booze in there with you.
Yeah, they have a few of those up here, like the alcoholic theaters where you can just bring in, where you can get like a beer. They'll bring you a beer.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. But yeah, me, Cindy, and Xander went to go see The Boy and the Heron, and it was good. We enjoyed it a lot. It was definitely like I swear to God, whenever Cindy and I sit down to watch a Ghibli movie, we always end up looking at each other like, what the fuck are we watching? Like every time. But I mean, it was a really enjoyable movie. I wasn't expecting it to take place like when it does.
Okay.
Because it takes place. I don't know if they ever blatantly say it, but I'm pretty sure it takes place like World War II ish.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting because The Wind Rises was also World War II ish.
Mm-hmm. But
no, it was World War II because it was Japan in World War II.
Yeah. But yeah, the cast is fucking loaded on that movie. They got what, Mark Hamill, Christian Bale.
Yeah, they brought, because Christian Bale was previously he was Hal in Hell's Moving Castle, and Mark Hamill was the villain in Castle in the Sky.
Mm-hmm. And I know there was I I'm having trouble remembering, but I know there was a bunch of other like big names that were in it. So I mean, it was a good movie. I definitely liked it a lot.
I'm definitely going to definitely gonna check it out once I get the chance. Probably when it comes to stream. Well, actually, for streaming, it'll be on HBO Max because that's where all the other ones are. Probably.
Most likely.
Yeah, I'll probably wait till it comes to streaming just because I haven't had time to go to the movies.
Yeah, that's another thing. That should be one of my projects this year is going through some of Ghibli movies.
They're all really good. They're worth watching. Like I still say, The Wind Rises is one of the most surprisingly good movies I've seen in a long time. Did you ever listen to the episode we did talking about them all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
who was with you with that one?
That was Rick.
That's what I thought. All right.
That was the first time I met Rick in person, technically. Yeah, that was a fun one because that was just such a crazy experience because that was the first time I'd seen most of those, and Alex for the most part as well.
Yeah, everyone put Ponyo pretty low on their rankings.
Yeah, which is weird because Alex liked it. I enjoyed it too, honestly.
I just think it's a really fun, wholesome movie. It's one of the few Ghibli movies I have seen, and I've seen it, God, way too many times because it's my daughter's like favorite movie. She loves that movie.
I think the biggest hot take we had in that list was me and Alex both putting Princess Mononoke solo.
That's one that I've always heard good things about, but I never got around to watching it.
It was too violent for Alex, which is hilarious considering some of the things she actually watches. But
yeah, right.
She didn't like the violence. Yeah, she didn't like the violence of it, and I thought it was just too long.
Really, how long is it?
It's like 2 hours.
Oh, jeez.
It's like 2 hours long, and it feels 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because Spirited Away, the one right after it, and probably the most famous Ghibli film, that's also 2 hours, but that does not feel 2 hours at all. That one flies by.
Yeah, it does.
So I think it's just a case of something about Princess Mononoke. I just didn't do it for us.
Well, I mean, pacing matters. You know, you could have the same. I mean, like we said in a previous episode, the difference between Dragon Ball GT and Full Metal Brotherhood, they have the same episode count. Like,
yeah,
but one is clearly way better paced and way better laid out than the other.
Yeah, one didn't know what it was trying to do.
Yeah, GT is a slog for the most part, and Full Metal flies by.
Yeah. Did you see the any of the clips from the new Dragon Ball, the Tenkaichi 4?
I think so. I think I just saw like the Goku Vegeta like intro trailer.
I saw the clip of like how the character select screen, and like half of them are Goku.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
It was
just like that with the old ones too.
Yeah. I forgot that normal Goku was an unlockable. Well, no, it was a paid DLC in Fighter Z.
Yeah, isn't that weird? I think Goku and Vegeta Saiyan Saga.
Yeah, it's like normal, like non-Super Saiyan. You can't play. You have to pay for.
Isn't that wild how that came full circle and now you have to pay to get non-transformed characters?
Yeah. There's also old Brawly and new Brawly.
Yep. Oh, and I think they revealed what I think the last DLC for season 2 of Kakarot is going to be.
Oh,
it's
yeah?
going to be that last tournament from Z where you meet Zoob.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it makes me kind of wonder if that's going to be it for Kakarot, because it kind of feels like a definitive last one.
I really want them to do another game where they do Super or original Dragon Ball for that.
Original Dragon Ball is the one I would want the most. And the only way I'd want them to do Super is if they added exploration with other universes. Like if we could just pop over, like kind of what Dragon Ball Online was. Like I was really upset that we never got that, and that it ended up being short-lived anyway, because I heard so many cool things about it.
Yeah, that was the only place you could find Super Pan, technically.
Yeah. And yeah, it was all like the kind of lore that went into that. And I'm pretty sure Toriyama wrote some of the lore for that game too. And there was a lot of cool stuff about it, like things like how Gohan had written a book about ki, and that's why so many more humans on Earth know how to use ki is because they read the book. Like, because it takes place like, I don't know, like 100, 200 years later or something, like after everybody dies. So yeah. I don't know. It's just like the whole concept of like, all right, let's see what this world is like a few hundred years down the line and see how this goes, you know?
Which means GT isn't canon because the world got destroyed in GT.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my biggest problem with the ending of GT. Goku literally just fucks off and leaves his family to die as he just goes and explores the universe.
Yeah, or whatever the hell he did. I think there was like, I do think the ending of GT was like based on some sort of myth. I'd have to look into it. I know I saw a video on it once where somebody explained like the myth that was based off of, but I mean, to be fair, the ending of GT is the most satisfying ending out of any of the Dragon Ball shows. That's like one of the few things GT really has going for it.
When you say ending, do you mean the series ending or the film ending?
The series ending.
Okay, because there's also the film that takes place after.
Yes, but that I believe came out right after the baby arc.
Okay, that's technically the finale, though, right?
What
the OVA film thing?
No, because that there was still like 20 more episodes that came out after that.
Oh, I have no idea what GT sometimes.
It was a really weird. I always thought that came out last too, but apparently it came out at, like right after the baby arc finished, but before Super 17. And then like the actual series finale was the last GT thing to come out. So
okay, GT. It's not canon. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I mean, the ending to Super was pretty good, even though it's kind of like you just wanted more.
Yeah, well, I mean, the ending to Super was a lot like the ending to Z, where it's just like, hey, like, there's definitely more to this story, but we're just not gonna tell it to you. See ya.
but at least in Super, he doesn't abandon his family.
True.
For like the 12th time.
Well, I mean, not at the ending. He abandons his family a lot during Super.
Yeah, but he always comes back.
True.
It's not like he's gone, just like forever.
That reminds me though, the newest chapter of Super came out like a week or two ago, and it was the first post superhero thing, and I think a couple like remnants from Red Ribbon. I think actually Magenta. Is that his name? Or am I thinking of? Oh no, Carmine. That guy, the guy with the big ass pompadour.
Oh yeah, in his own intro.
Yeah. He recruits Goten and Trunks because they're like superheroes now. They're like Saiyaman guys now, and he like recruits them to try and like he's like trying to trick them to go and fight Gohan for them because he's like mad at Gohan. And then like they show up and Goten and Trunks look at him and they're like, "This is my brother's house, dude. I'm not doing that." But then Gohan sees them and he gets all mad and goes like straight into his new beast form. So that's encouraging, at least, that he can just jump right into that.
Can still do it.
Yeah. And then like it flashes to Beerus's planet and Goku's like, huh? And he like teleports. It's right there. And he's like, "Oh, Gohan, what happened to you?"
What did I miss?
And then that's where the chapter ends, but I'm excited to see where that goes because like it might actually get an answer to like where Gohan stands power wise to Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah, hopefully they don't pull Toriyama like Goku magic out of his ass and still make Goku more powerful.
He probably will be. I mean, he has been training with Beerus, you know.
True.
And Broly actually. So.
But Vegeta won.
Yeah, they didn't use transformations. It's not the same.
True.
Although
that was still satisfying.
I'm pretty sure Ultra Instinct would still beat Ultra Ego, but still.
Yeah. Ultra Instinct is like just like the biggest like fuck you power in Dragon Ball.
pretty much. Like Goku needed another one, right?
He's gonna, and the worst part is, he's gonna get another one.
Maybe. Well, they I definitely think Ultra Instinct is gonna be it's gonna be the standard going forward for him. But they made it very clear once he like mastered the mastered version, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That Whis is just like, yeah, you mastered it, but you're still like the lowest of the totem pole for Ultra Instinct. So you still got a ways to go, bud.
So it's just gonna be basically he's starting from scratch again, but now he's just all like borderline god at this point.
I think Ultra Instinct is just gonna be the new Super Saiyan, and we might end up getting other versions of Ultra Instinct, or he'll just get better at using it. We don't know yet, but I think he's got enough transformations. They should work on techniques.
I just hate the fact that like Ultra Instinct now has basically just pretty much eliminated any possibility of Super Saiyan 4 becoming a thing again.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a bummer, but
because I just can't see Super Saiyan 4 being considered more powerful.
Although, if you went Super Saiyan 4 and used Ultra Instinct, that would be like all those fan arts of Super Saiyan 5.
From Dragon Ball AF.
Yeah.
Dumbest, like, one of the dumbest internet rumors ever that people bought.
People still buy it.
I know. That's how bad it is.
The funny thing is the most popular version of that fan comic, the guy who did it is currently doing the super manga.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good artist, so.
Yeah.
Isn't he supposedly shadow writing a lot of it, too?
Well, I mean, Toriyama's kind of like trying to train him up to be he's going to be like the successor. So
yeah,
he has sway with the story. Like obviously Toriyama's word is law, but I mean, they collaborate on a lot of stuff.
I heard a rumor that he's secretly shadow writing it and Toriyama's just putting his name on a lot of things and just kind of approving stuff. But
I think that is the case for a lot of it. Like I think I want to say Granola was. Is it the? I can't remember if it was Moro or Granola, but I know one of those was like his main idea. Like obviously Toriyama had insight and like he had his own ideas for the story, but I'm pretty sure one of those stories Toyotaro was spearheading. So
that's just funny to me that the fan creator ended up becoming the basically the real creator in the end.
Yeah, right. Unfortunately, that means the AF fan comic will never have a conclusion.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But I mean, he's definitely pulling ideas from that. Because actually, there's been a lot of things that I've seen throughout that I feel like he does pull a lot of stuff from both his fan comics and other people's. Like I used to read Dragon Ball Multiverse, and I still jump in and catch up on it every now and then. There's a fan comic from before Super and all that new stuff, but I definitely see him pulling ideas here and there. I'm like, hey, that's just that thing, you know? Like the whole concept of Goku Black and Zamasu. Like,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure like he just kind of pulled that idea from AF because AF had the evil Supreme Kai, and it wasn't actually Goku, but it was like a clone / child of Goku made with his DNA. So it was like kind of like the same idea.
Yeah, kind of just more fan fiction-y.
Yeah, and then there was a whole bit where they were gonna seal the Goku clone / son into the Z Sword, which is kind of mirrors the whole evil containment wave on Goku Black or Zamasu. Yeah. So it's just like you see a lot of these connections. Like he's just kind of pulling stuff from that to try and, I guess, keep his old work alive, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Toriyama did that too, so.
Yeah, God, I haven't thought about the Z Sword in forever.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of been just forgotten about at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was broken, and that's how we got Old Kai, and then you actually, I think you only learned this in the manga, but in the Super manga, you learned that Trunks trained with the Z Sword as well, but it was destroyed entirely before it had a chance to break. So he never got the Elder Kai
Hmm.
Like he just died without being released because his whole sword is vaporized.
Well, that's depressing.
Yeah, he's like waiting for how many thousands of years, and then he's just dead.
Just blipped out of existence.
Yeah. Actually, no, I think it's millions of years. Yeah, that sucks.
And then we get in the modern continuity where Zeno just blips people out of existence all the time,
Yep, just on a whim. It's like,
including
oh
that
man, I
including
spilled
that
my ice
entire world.
cream. It's like, oh man, I spilled my ice cream.
Yeah, Death to Universe 12.
Yep, pretty much.
Zeno is an interesting idea. Then there's just two. The fact that there's just two of them now.
Yeah, right. That's wild. Like,
Goku gets away with a lot of shit just because he's Goku.
yeah, but
Because anyone else
works for him.
anyone else would have probably been like, "What? Like, you can't do that."
Well, I think that's part of the reason why Zeno lets him get away with it because everyone's always walking on eggshells around him. I think the candidness, the straightforwardness of Goku was refreshing.
He doesn't have a filter. He legit just says what he feels like and doesn't think about it.
Yeah,
which is great.
but
Oh, you know what's funny? I saw the Fathom events, like movie theater things they do all the time.
no.
They're like little like special screenings of different things, like not like even always new movies. Sometimes it's like an older film they'll re-release in theaters.
Oh yeah.
They're doing one for Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's on a Wednesday though, so I was tempted to go, but like I was like, yeah, this is on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I think we talked about that like a couple months ago or something. And it actually is going to be like the complete version, like the like fixed version, I guess.
Yeah, the slightly less shit version.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching that again.
I was tempted to go see it in theaters. I just like it's on a Wednesday, and I'd have to go like all out of my way to go watch it. So I was like, nah.
Yeah. Well, I see. I'd want to go see it. I feel like if I'm gonna watch it again, I should just get the DVD because obviously I wouldn't be going alone. I'd be taking either Cindy or Xander or whatever. But Xander just started playing the remake, so I'm trying to keep him spoiler free.
Yeah, even though they're technically separate universes, but there's enough there that I guess could be spoilerish, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, he knows nothing about anything with the story. He just knows, oh, Cloud, he's got a big sword, and Sephiroth's the bad guy. That's pretty much all he knows.
Yeah.
And I want to get Cindy to play it at some point because she doesn't really do turn-based games. So I figured the remake might be a good substitution just so she can experience the story.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I love the original 7, but it is a dated game at this point.
Yeah. Which actually I wanted to ask you, when you're selecting difficulty on the remake, it has like easy, normal, and then easy classic and normal classic. Is that like a turn-based option?
No, it's always.
Have you tried it?
I don't think I did. I know that they're both action-based. I think the classic might incorporate some elements that are more stylized after the original.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played it in like a year, so I honestly don't remember.
Yeah. Well, the like little Wall Market Coliseum thing has the option of selecting one of those without changing it for the whole game. So I might just try it and see what happens. Because if there is like a version, like a way to just switch the game to JRPG mode, like turn-based, like that'd be kind of a fun way to play that game.
I'm pretty sure it's still action-based, both versions, but I don't know.
I mean, I feel like it would be kind of a silly choice not to do that.
Yeah, I think the problem is that the game was
the option.
To do it, they'd have to probably redesign the entire game. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, do you happen to know what's up with those like Wutai doors? Do I need to play as Yuffie to open those?
I don't remember, to be honest.
I'll just Google it. I just figured
Yeah.
I'd have you here. I'd ask. But
Yeah, I just haven't played that thing in so long. My memory's gone from it.
I get that.
Yeah. Trying to think. I think we've really kind of covered it all for the most part. This was kind of just a catching up episode just because timing's weird right now.
Yeah.
I
do, before we close it out, I want to tell a little story from the time that we were there.
Yeah, go for it.
So it was the last day that we were in the park, and we had seen like this pearl stand, and Cindy loves pearls and stuff, and her ring got broken a while ago, so she's been kind of using substitute rings for a while. So I was like, oh, it's a good opportunity, because they had like a bunch of bands and stuff. You could get a pearl to put on it and stuff. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go send her off over to the donut shop with Xander over there, and I'm gonna grab her a ring while she's busy. It wasn't that easy, because I go up to the stand. The guy comes around and he's like, I think he was like Greek or something. Like he didn't have like a super thick accent, but he had an accent. And he asked me what I want. I say, oh, I was pointing at bands and asking about prices, and I picked one, and he was like, okay. And then he turns and he gives me a pair of wooden tongs, and he points down to this bowl of oysters, and he goes, pick the ugliest oyster. I said, okay, that's kind of cool. Just pick one right out of the oyster. That's fun. So I grab one, and he opens it up. No, every time I tell a story, I skip the most important part. So he puts the oyster down before he opens it. And then he takes the tongs away, and he takes out these 3 like wooden spoon things. And they're all like decorated. They have like glitter and sequins and all this crazy shit on it. And he goes, you know what these are? I said, I don't know. Spoons? Spatulas? I don't know. And he goes, no. These are magic wands.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is you're going to pick the one you think is pretty. So I said, okay, whatever. And I just grabbed one. And he goes, now hold it like a wand. And I hold it up. He goes, no, that's a hammer. Hold it like a wand. So he tells me to do like this little chant or whatever and wave it over the oyster. But like, he doesn't want me to say the chant. He wants me to scream it. And this is like literally the busiest night the whole time that we were there. There's literally like thousands of people in the park right now. I got people surrounding me. And so, I'm not like a super outward guy. Like I generally keep to myself. So bringing a lot of attention to myself was, a lot. But I was like, it's part of the experience. He does this to everybody, whatever. So I do it, and he goes, not loud enough.
Oh, no.
So I do it again. He's like, come on, dude. You got to do it again. I literally had to do this shit 3 fucking times. And by the time it was done, there was a whole crowd around me watching.
Yep.
Because as soon as we did it the 3rd time, he takes out this giant bell, and he starts ringing it over his head, going, it's a celebration! It's a celebration! I'm fucking like, my face is beat red at this point because I'm so fucking embarrassed. Like, I'm not the kind of person who gets up in front of people and does this kind of shit. But he goes through the whole thing. He opens it up, and it ended up being a black pearl, which is really cool. I guess it's like under 2% of pearls are black pearls. So, and she loves black pearls, so it was a really cool thing. And by the end of it, he like gets in real close, and he goes, I want you to make sure that you tell your wife exactly what this costed you.
Yeah.
And I just like, oh my God. And then when I go and meet up with her, and she's like, where were you? Like, what took so long or whatever? Because I thought I was only going to be away for like a couple minutes. I thought it was going to be as simple as pick one, slap it together, swipe your card, that's it. Nah, it wasn't that simple.
No.
I was over there for like a half an hour doing this whole thing. And like, I get over there, and I tell her like, I got you something, and there's a story behind it, but I'm not going to tell you here because I'm not doing it in this crowd. I don't want to go through that again.
Yep.
But yeah, that was pretty wild, and they both got a kick out of it once I told them.
I'm sure they did. It sounds like that was probably his intention the entire time.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think he goes out of his way to try and embarrass people.
That's probably his like the little amount of joy he gets while he's there. So
Yeah, right. But yeah, it
that's
was
pretty good
just
though.
it is. Oh man, I was not expecting to be that embarrassed when I walked up to that stand. I was this close to walking away.
Yeah. The question is, did anyone else go to the stand after you?
Probably not. I mean, a lot of the people who were gathering around were probably locals who knew that this guy did this all the time. They were like, "Oh, he got another one. Let's go see."
Probably.
But
that's good.
Yeah, it was just it was a funny thing.
Nice. Oh boy, God, I can't wait till spring. Get this winter stuff over with.
I know. I'm tired of it. It's like I don't know. It hasn't even been that bad. I mean, maybe it's been a little worse for you. I feel like you've gotten more snow than we have.
It's not even that it's been bad. It's just it's been cold this year.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it'll at least be cold enough to kill the ticks, because the ticks have been wicked bad the past few years because we haven't had like cold winters.
Yeah. We had a rainy summer this year, so
yeah, for sure.
It's kind of it's been an odd couple of a year for weather.
Mm.
We're talking about the weather. I think we've officially reached the point of
yeah.
we're out of topics.
I think so.
No, that was good though. Catching up, just getting caught up on a few things. Hopefully next week we'll get back to a somewhat regular topic. It's still probably going to be a shorter episode just because of the work stuff, but
yeah, we still haven't even determined what it's going to be yet. But
yeah, we'll figure something out. But yeah, so once again, guys, thanks for joining us on Geek Addicts. You can find Geek Addicts in the GNC podcast feed on all the major podcasting platforms. We're also available on YouTube now, so you can find the audio and occasional video versions of different podcasts on there. And you can also follow all of our links at linktree/thebarbergames. And if you'd like, you can join the GNC podcast Discord server to find all things gaming and collecting, Geek Addicts, the 3DO experience, talk gaming, anime, anything really, any topics. There's a Kermit the Frog and water bottle fascination now. That's our new story arc at the moment. But yeah, we're a bunch of fun people there. So with that, everybody, we'll see you all later.
Have a good one.